great. Oh, awesome. Okay, everybody is here. Good evening. Thanks, guys, for coming. I really appreciate you guys wanting to learn some great information about our bodies and how we can optimize and stay in control of our lives as much as we possibly can. And this is going to be a menopause related seminar, but it's really going to be about hormones. And husbands and wives, men and women, all have the same hormones. So men go through andropause, women go through menopause. We just kind of fall off a cliff a whole lot faster than men do. So this is all great information for men to listen to if they want to, or you can teach your men whatever they want to learn. But, oh, hey, Jennifer. So again, most of you know who I am. I'm Chris Tanner. I'm a nutrition and hormone researcher. I've been researching hormones for 25 plus years. I've been reading blood work for 25 plus years. I am into hormones and peptides, but I believe it all starts with nutrition. And so the fundamental is the fundamentals are what we're going to be talking about tonight. And people come to me for all different reasons. Some people just want to lose weight. Some people, have high anxiety. Some people can't sleep. There's a myriad of problems and issues that we all face, and learning the tools and having the tools in your toolbox will help you be able to ride through this age of between 40 and 60, as I call it, the age of question marks, how to be able to get to optimal health. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And then I'm going to go through 4 topics. And after every topic, we'll have a question section. So ask questions after that topic about the topic. And then at the very end of the presentation, you can ask any question you want. And if I don't know the answer, I will tell you I don't know it. And I will definitely investigate it and put it in the notes when this whole webinar is over with. You'll get notes of everything we talked about. And hopefully I'll have some answers for you too. So the first topic is going to be hormones. We all have them. Both men and women have the exact same hormones. And I like to look at the hormones as a pyramid of hormones. So your pyramid at the very top is going to be cholesterol. And you think, wow, cholesterol, that's not a hormone. But cholesterol is what makes all your hormones downstream. So your downstream hormones are things like pregnenolone, progesterone, DHEA, estrogen, testosterone, all the things that you think of when you think of hormones. That's what that pyramid looks like. So cholesterol is super important. You have to have enough cholesterol to be able to create those hormones. So I don't want to go down the cholesterol rabbit hole unless somebody wants to, but the key is to make sure that your cholesterol is optimized. And when you look at your cholesterol numbers, your doctors aren't necessarily looking at optimal numbers for cholesterol. They're looking at getting it as low as possible, which in turn, then it's difficult for you to make those downstream hormones. So I always like to get a baseline of your blood work that shows the hormones, including the cholesterol, including fasting insulin. Insulin is also a hormone. So we're going to be talking about how you look at your blood work when you get it back and you take a look at those normal ranges and your doctor says, oh, you're in the normal range, you're fine. But normal means fat and sick. Unfortunately, 97% of Americans have at least one metabolic disease, at least one. So again, you can't go by the normal numbers. You have to go by optimal numbers for you, your specific body. So what I like to tell people is if you have these symptoms, you don't know what's going on, go get your blood work, get it tested, and then say, okay, I don't feel well, and these are my numbers. So we need to optimize those numbers to feel better. It's not necessarily hitting a target because your target's going to be different than my target. But know that normal range does not mean that you're normal. That just means that you still may be needing some kind of adjustment. And the key to optimizing all that is how you feel. So if you feel amazing, go get your blood work, because let's take a look at those numbers, because that's probably your optimal numbers that you're looking at when you feel really, really good. When you feel really bad, go get those numbers done again. So again, that's the key to being optimizing your hormones. It's not finding the range that your doctor tells you, or I tell you, or anybody tells you. It's the range that makes you feel the best. And the only way to do that is to test. You test and then you adjust. And adjusting, we're going to go into the adjusting, is going to be hopefully really just things like nutrition and light therapy and being outside in nature. Those things are as natural as you can get. And those things will increase the numbers to be able to be optimized. So again, you go to from cholesterol, it converts into vitamin D. Vitamin D is also a hormone. People think it's a vitamin. So again, optimizing those hormones, finding out what that vitamin D level is, but then we'll find out if then the downstream effect of all the other hormones. That's what I want everybody to understand, is find their baseline and then write the symptoms down, right, that you have, and then work your way into an optimized feeling. Like if it's sleeping better, if it's losing abdominal fat, if it's getting rid of headaches, if it's, you know, growing your hair back, maybe your hair fell out. All these things can happen, and they all have to do with the balancing of these hormones. So when you get those tested, that's when you can come to me or whoever, and I can teach you how to look at those numbers in your blood work. And then you can take that knowledge and start adjusting them on your own by adding certain things into your diet, or maybe going outside for 30 minutes a day, or getting more light, or getting better sleep. Those kinds of things can all make positive effects into your blood work and then the way you feel. But I would suggest finding a doctor that can help you do that. There's a myriad of doctors out there. There's functional doctors. There's all kinds of doctors. And the cool thing about, you know, after 2020, there's a lot of telemed. And I know a lot of my clients, I give them suggestions of people they can go see. There's a lot of telemed doctors that can help you, you know, go through and see where your optimizations can happen in your blood work and in your hormones. So we briefly went over hormones and the pyramid and how they all are interconnected and related. Do you guys have any questions on what I've been talking about so far? Nope. Okay. Next one is protein. You guys all know I like hammer protein all day, every day. The only thing you need to track when you are trying to optimize your health is protein. And when I mean health, it can be you need to lose 20 pounds, you need to sleep better, you need to be in a better mood. All of those things are directly related to your protein. Protein's the only macronutrient that creates bone, muscle, and creates all the cells in your body. That's the only one that does it. Fat and carbohydrates are just energy. That's the energy you need to move through the day is used by those two macronutrients. So when you eat protein, it's going to build muscle and bone. And all of us, I think in this webinar are over 40. And as women, we need to make sure that we keep our bones strong, not just the strength of it, but the tensile strength. And so you want to be able to have the flexible bone and also the strong bone. And the only way you can do that is through protein. As a younger person, you can eat 10 grams of protein and your body will take that protein and create bone and muscle with it. As we age, our body needs a bigger bolus of protein to be able to start that protein synthesis. So if you're sitting at your breakfast and you're eating 30 grams of protein and you're over the age of 40, you're probably not getting the benefit of creating bone and muscle. Okay. So it's not the amount of food, it's the amount of protein. So I don't care what you eat calorie wise, right? Calories do not count. Calories are only there if, you know, if you're doing some kind of like bodybuilding or some kind of like, you know, specific kind of thing that you need your body to look a certain way. This is 95% of your problem is resolved with eating enough protein. So your best bet for protein is to make sure that that first meal of the day, whatever time that is, doesn't have to be breakfast, whatever the first meal is is to get that bolus of protein, 40, 50, 60 grams of protein at a breakfast, at the first meal. And it should be an animal protein. We can go through the quality of proteins, and the quality of proteins matter. They don't matter so much when you're younger. Younger kids and teenagers can take any kind of vegetable proteins and those kinds of proteins and be able to turn it into muscle mass. We have to have 9 essential amino acids to be able to create bone and muscle. And so like if you eat a pea protein, you're going to get 4 of the 9 essential amino acids. That's not enough to create bone and muscle at our age. So I always lean towards animal proteins because you're going to get all 9 essential while eating that animal. Now, I'm not saying as a vegetarian or vegan, you can't do it. You can, absolutely. But there's a lot of math that has to happen. There's a lot of combinations of vegetables that you have to put together to create all 9 essential amino acids to create that bone and that muscle. And then you also have to contend with that vegetable is only 12% bioavailable. So you're going to have to eat a lot more vegetables to be able to get that amount of protein in that sitting. So I always say, if you like meat and you like animals, just eat the animals. It's easy. It's less food you have to take in, and you're going to optimize that protein quality. The amino acids that trigger protein synthesis is leucine. And so a lot of times if people, are eating a balanced diet or a mixed diet, and they find that that level of muscle mass isn't coming together, or, you still feel like I'm not getting that muscle tone that I want, right? A good suggestion would be to add actual leucine, which is the one essential amino acid that creates that bone and muscle. So if you're eating that mixed diet and, you just are like, you're a small person and you can't eat a lot of food, a lot of times just the essential amino acids you could use as a supplement. You could use it as as an addition to the food you're eating, or you could use it as a meal replacement. Essential amino acids are wonderful for elderly people, for people that are on bed rest, for anyone that's like not mobile at the time, because those 9 essential amino acids are what is in a piece of meat. So if you eat a steak, you're going to 40% of that are the essential amino acids. They're going to be used to create those bone and muscle. If you drink the essential amino acids, you're getting 100% straight into your system and able then to create the bone and muscle without having to break it down. So again, essential amino acids are really good. Leucine is the most important one because, again, that's the one that triggers that protein synthesis. So that's something that if you ever wanted to supplement, or that you're going into surgery, or you're going to be on bed rest for a while, essential amino acids really will save your muscle and could build it while just laying in bed, which is pretty mind-blowing. These are all, everything that I'm talking about is going to be cited in the end of this webinar, and the doctors that I'm citing and the RCTs that I'm citing will all be in those notes. So if you want to like nerd out, there's like going to be a ton of books and a ton of doctors at the end of this that you can download. So, and then optimizing absorption. So if you're not used to eating a lot of meat, and a lot of women aren't, we've been trained to eat salads and not eat in front of people. So if you are new to eating a bolus of protein, I would advise taking digestive enzymes. And digestive enzymes are there to help break down that protein to be able to be absorbed, right, and moved into protein synthesis. A lot of times people, if they go from 20 grams at breakfast, maybe a couple eggs, to like 8 eggs and some bacon, they may get an upset stomach. You may give yourself diarrhea or constipation, or, a bloated belly, or feel really tired. And it's because the enzymes in your stomach are not ready for that kind of a change. So I would always advise people to just buy a bottle of digestive enzymes and then use them for the first month that you're transitioning into a higher protein diet. And then that will raise that enzymes in your stomach to be able to handle the bolus of protein. Okay. All right, we talked about protein. Any questions?
I have one.
Go ahead.
Is whey considered animal protein?
Yes.
Yay. Okay.
Yes. And there is a caveat with whey and women. I'm glad you brought this up. So Natasha is asking whey protein if it is a animal source, and it is. It's dairy. Dairy is great. Dairy has all kinds of wonderful qualities, but dairy is also a weight gainer. And for some women, majority of the women over 40 have a harder time digesting whey because of the dairy content. Whey, however, is one of the best and highest leucine proteins out there. So it's higher than eating a steak. It's higher than eating chicken. Whey is really the best. Breast milk is first. Second is whey. So for men specifically, whey can be an amazing, fast-acting protein for muscle building. For women, it can too. But I've found coaching women over the last 15 years, it's pretty dicey for women to be able to handle it. A lot of times people are like, oh, when I drink whey, I get a little bloaty, I get a little gassy, get a little burpy, that kind of stuff. And so that's because your body can't handle it. So what I suggest people do, women specifically, is either do beef isolate protein powders or essential amino acids. Those two I have found across the board women can handle. Now, if you can handle whey, Natasha, go for it, because whey is really, really good. But if you find that over time, as you age, unfortunately, 10 years ago, I could do whey. Now at 56, my body's like, no, you're not doing whey. So it's like you may find that transition of not being able to handle it as much. And then you just switch to another one. It's not a big deal. But whey protein's great for men. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, we'll move on. Okay, the third topic is exercise. Now, a lot of you athletes on here like to go all out and do your CrossFit and shred 45 and all those things, which are awesome. But as we age, our body increases our cortisol level because our bodies can't handle that kind of workout anymore. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure, as our hormones are getting a little wonky and our cortisol starts rising, because your cortisol rises when your hormones are off, right? And the higher your cortisol gets, the less your body's going to be able to use the fat for fuel. So the higher the cortisol, think about this, the higher the cortisol, the more fat your body is going to hold on to. So I don't know if this has happened to any of you, but you go to the gym and you're doing all the things you did when you're in your 20s, and you're doing all the things in your 30s, and then you're like, I'm doing all the things and it's not working anymore. Well, the problem is we need to calm our bodies down. Our bodies need to be in a calm and secure and safe space. And so as we go through this transition, this age 40 to 60, our bodies needs way more nurturing. It needs way more recovery. So the movement I want to see is zone 2 movement. I want you to be able to walk with your dog. I want you to walk with a weighted vest. You could ride your bike leisurely. You could, do those kinds of things. But to go all out in a HIIT type workout every day, 7 days a week, your body is going to crash, and it's going to crash in whatever way it decides. You could gain visceral fat. You could lose your hair. You could stop sleeping. You could be manic. You could have anxiety. All those things can happen if your cortisol rises higher than what your hormones are supposed to be doing. So again, it's that whole balance through these 20 years of our life, is to just balance that and know rest is going to be way more important than working out. So if you wake up and your body's like, I don't feel very good today, do not push it, because you're just going to backslide. And it's very hard for athletes or prior athletes, if you're an athlete in high school or college, and you just know, if I push myself harder, I'm going to get into better shape. You're not. You're going to actually backslide. So less is better, but you want to have that movement all day. doing laundry, vacuuming your house, doing yard work, being outside. That's all movement. That's what I want to see 90% of the time. Then the 10% can be lifting heavy weights, sprinting, doing any kind of HIIT training. Those kinds of things are great. But what I find, women think more is better and less is better in this time frame. And I think also a lot of their spouses or partners think, well, I'm doing this at the gym, so my wife or my partner should be able to do that. And in reality, we need to be even softer. We need to be we need to be coddled more in this 20 years, which makes no sense. I understand, because we feel like we're go, go, go. But our bodies are telling us we need to slow down. We need to rest. We need to sleep 7 to 9 hours. I don't know if you guys sleep 7 to 9 hours, but I know a lot of you don't. So these are the things that are going to optimize our hormones. Going back to, the first topic of hormones, getting the hormones in check and keeping them in check is a full-time job. I'm sorry, it's just a full-time job. And the fastest way to get out of that balance is by doing too much exercise. Does that all make sense to you? Is that something like, do you feel like you do too much, or do you feel like you need to do more? What are your thoughts on any of that for exercise? Any of you?
I don't think it matters anymore what I do because nothing changes, and my cortisol levels are so high that yoga, walking, I even started doing some weights, and I'm constantly moving because I work full time and have 3 kids. So I'm not sedentary at all. But I eat like 2 meals a day, and I'm still, yeah, I've gained 20 pounds this year, and my cortisol levels are through the roof. And I don't really know what is the answer.
And Jen, that's very common. And I know this is going to be hard for you, but you need to do even less. And again, I know, and I understand. I know your children's situation. I know your work situation, but those two things alone should be all you should be doing. You should not be trying to lift weights. You should not be doing extra walking. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but getting that cortisol level down is job one for you, because none of these other things are going to get into balance with your cortisol that high. And
Yeah,
then
they're
what you
not.
find too, Jen, is when it gets so high, it actually then just plummets, and then you have no cortisol, right? So it's even worse when it's high for such a long time that it just gets tired, worn out, and then it just dies away. What you need to do too is also eat more than 2 meals a day. You've got to make sure that your body is fed and calm and happy. And so what I'm guessing is your day is so crazy you can't get that third meal in.
Yeah, I'm not really hungry,
Right.
so I don't really need another meal. I'm
I
definitely
understand, but your body needs it. Right. So, and it's not even about the meal, it's about getting the essential amino acids in. So even if you don't, maybe just drink a protein shake, or maybe just drink an essential amino acid drink for that third meal. But you got
Yeah.
to make sure that your body is always fed and happy at that moment. That's the only way that cortisol is going to come down. When it is not fed and happy, it's just going to stay high until it falls off a cliff. So I know that sounds weird, like I'm telling you to sit on your couch and eat more, but but in reality, it only takes about a week or two to do that, and then that cortisol starts coming down, and you will notice it. But the key is no alcohol, which I know is hard for a lot of people, and no carbohydrates. It's all about getting that protein, the essential amino acids in, and getting it in a consistent. Maybe it's 4 meals a day. I don't know, but you need to at least get 3 meals a day, and so your body knows you're not trying to kill it. And that can be anything. It doesn't have to be food. If you're not hungry, drink some essential amino acids.
Yeah. Okay, I'll try that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, and just calm down. Like, don't do so much. No. Anyway, I totally understand. But again, I also know what you do over and above, and just don't do the over and above. Like let's do the minimum, Jen, for a while.
Hey, you know, we're
Okay.
going into the Christmas season, right?
I know.
Do
Just
less.
say, listen,
What?
mama's gonna sit on the couch, so I don't know what's gonna happen. Does
Oh, shoot.
that help at all, Jen?
I will make a conscious effort to do less.
Okay. And eat
Thanks.
more.
And eat more.
Because
Okay.
I know your kids drink those protein shakes. You can drink those too.
I know. I need to have one too.
All right. Anyone else have any questions about movement or?
There's a question in the chat.
Oh, there it is.
Roll fast coaching says,
Oh,
I can't
Matt.
talk on the mic. I don't know. Can you see the chat?
Yeah, I can't.
Okay.
Why am I not getting it to one new chat? There we go. I can't talk on the mic. Would somebody ask Chris for me what she thinks of the Garmin Whoop Apple device? Yes. Okay. All the devices are great if it doesn't make you neurotic. A lot of times people love all of the information it gives. And some of my athletes think it's the greatest thing in the world. And then other people, mostly ladies, get overwhelmed with all of the information that is given to them. So if it overwhelms you, then you need to not use those devices. If it does keep you focused, if it keeps you committed and doesn't raise your cortisol, then use any of the devices that you want. Answered the question? Yep. Oh, do I think they're accurate? Yeah, I mean, again, they're as accurate as you want them to be in the sense that you can look at your trends, right? It's like a scale. Is your scale accurate? I don't know. But if you weigh yourself every day, you'll be able to see the trend of what your body's doing. It's like all those InBodies and DEXA scans and all those cool things you can find out your body fat percentage and your bone density and things like that. It doesn't really matter in the sense that how do you feel? Are you sleeping? Are you happy? Do your clothes fit? Do you feel strong? Those kinds of things. And then monitoring them however you want to monitor them is great. But I think monitoring is important no matter what you do. If you weigh yourself every day, I think that's important. If you make a food log every day, I think that's super important. Those kinds of things just keep you in check. Harvey has a question.
Hey, Chris. Hey, everyone.
Hey,
So
Harvey.
really love this conversation. So happy to be a part of this webinar. Chris, my question is, I'm glad you brought up cortisol. I don't know if you're going to get into this, as you proceed. So I wasn't sure whether I should interrupt with a question, and if you are going to, then you can say we're going to handle that later in the webinar. But the impact of the hormones being imbalanced on then thereby affecting and affecting the cortisol level, like that whole chain of events, how do you manage that? And the the imbalance, yeah. So if high cortisol is a result of that versus, because I used to be very super active, doing the HIIT classes, doing all the power class, doing all that stuff. Never had the high cortisol issues then, and then menopause, and then everything went out the window, as you know, because you know me really well, and you know my history and what my entire DNA, so now, what is it to get to happy, calm, and what was the other thing you said? The three things?
I mean, happy, calm,
And
steady.
steady. Yeah, steady. And then get the sleep, like all of that. Like, what is the source of that? So I'm gonna, that's basically my question. You know what I'm talking about, and because we've had this conversation. But just to kind of get an idea about creating a plan and a map for getting to the goal, which is, I love that, happy, calm, and fed, and sleeping well and balanced and all of that. So that's my question.
Yeah, that's a great question, Harvey. And again, the path is going to be a little bit different for everyone because, I'm just going back to Jen. She's got a crazy life. She's got 3 kids. She's got a job that takes her on the road. She's going to have a different way of calming her body than somebody who works from home, right? Or maybe doesn't have children or things like that. But I think the path to lowering cortisol is, honestly, I know this sounds awful, is just do less. We've been trained that we've got to work out 6 days a week, that we've got to get to HIIT class, we've got to do these things. All that does is just jack up our cortisol. And then that's when it's downstream, everything else gets wonky. So you have to calm yourself, whether that's meditation, whether that's, getting in red light. And we're going to talk about light therapy in topic 4. Light is super important. Light will lower that cortisol, but you've got to get in it. It's November, and a lot of us live up north where there's no sunshine. Well, yeah, your cortisol is going to get real high when you're not getting any light in your eyes. So the path, Harvey, for you would be those kinds of things, making sure that you get up and look at a red light in the morning. Make sure when you go to bed, you look at a red light. Make sure you have a room that's completely dark at night and able to get quality 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Those kinds of things then will lower that cortisol and then allow your body to be rested and fed and happy. And then you can get back to the HIIT training, but you just can't do it the way we used to do it. Our bodies are not capable of handling that much stress. We have to calm it down and we have to de-stress it. And unless you live in a bubble, you're going to have stress in your life. So those are the things I would work on, Harvey, for you, is just working on some kind of protocol that you can do through the day that doesn't take a lot of time, but that 10 minutes in front of a red light in the morning to wake your eyes up, to get your circadian rhythm going. Those kinds of things will lower that cortisol. And then the same thing at night. You don't want to be behind a screen at 9 o'clock at night. You don't want to be in front of your phone at 9 o'clock at night. You want to be able to have red glasses or blue blockers on, whatever you need to do to get that body calm, maybe an Epsom salt bath. Warm baths are way more important for us ladies than cold plunges. You should never do a cold plunge over the age of 40 if you're a woman, because that's just going to wreck your cortisol even worse. You need to comfort yourself in that warmth. So you can do infrared mats are great. You can lay on an infrared mat. You can put it on your shoulders at night. You can do saunas. Like I said, a warm bath, Epsom salts. Any of those things are going to be able to calm the body and the brain.
Okay, thank you so much. That's really helpful.
Good. Okay. Any other questions? Go to the next one. And the last one is light. And light is so important. I mean, we've lived for millions of years, and light's always been part of the life of a human. And what's happened is we all live indoors. We all live under fake lights. We stay up and, and check out TikTok till 10 p.m. I mean, we do all the things we possibly can to destroy our light in our bodies. And so light is going to be one of the most important things you do every day, and somehow fit it in. And I'm not talking, you got to be outside for an hour or whatever, but I am saying 10 minutes in front of a red light. You can buy a brooder light for $16, a chicken light, and that's a red light. Like it's not going to be expensive, but it's going to be important to have that red light when you wake up. Or you can just go outside and look at the sunrise, right? If you're up and you're up anyway and the sun's rising, just walk outside, no glasses, look at the sunrise. 5 minutes, boom. You've gotten your circadian rhythm back on track. Same thing at night. If you don't want to spend money on a red light, go outside and light a fire. Look at firelight. Firelight has red light to it. Look at the sunset. Do any of those things. Again, you're outside. You're able to get the light, no matter if it's full spectrum or or if it's cloudy or whatever. You still can get the light. Now, anyone north of Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, October 1st through May 1st, you're not getting any vitamin D. Now, not saying the light isn't important. The light's very important, but you're not making any vitamin D. So know that. So October 1st through May 1st, you should always take a vitamin D supplement. Hands down, I don't care what your vitamin D level is, it will plummet if you're not in that sunshine. So put that in for sure. And then think about light as a full spectrum. You've got UVA, UVB, red, infrared. All of those are important. And we have been so scared of the sun for so long, and dermatologists are telling you to slather SPF 50 all over your face and body. And then what happens is your vitamin D level plummets. And then again, let's go to the pyramid like we talked about at the beginning of hormones. If your vitamin D way up here is plummeting, none of these hormones are going to be working right. So I'm not saying don't use sunscreen. I'm saying if you can get your skin in the sun for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes without sunscreen, you are going to create vitamin D. Now, not now, I'm saying May. Think about it for spring. But that's going to be super important to be able to create that vitamin D and then again, downstream optimize all those hormones. So you're kind of like getting punched in the face when it comes to fall and winter because you're not even able to make that vitamin D with the sun. So take that vitamin D. I'm saying 10,000 IUs up to 50,000 IUs a day will help create a balance of those hormones. And then when you think of UV, people are like, oh gosh, UV, that's going to give you skin cancer or whatever. Skin cancer can only be created is if you have polyunsaturated fats in your diet. So when you see all those rat studies they show and they're like, oh, this rat has, melanoma or whatever, it's because they fed the rats polyunsaturated fats. So you can't create cancer without having the polyunsaturated fats as the catalyst. So I'm saying if you eat a high protein diet, it's going to be low in polyunsaturated fats because those are going to be in the processed foods, right? Processed foods are not good for you. If you take those out of your diet, you're not going to have that catalyst of getting any kind of skin cancer. Now I'm saying, are you going to be 100% skin cancer free? No, I'm saying that UV ray is super important for our bodies to create the vitamin D. So get in it. Don't get sunburnt. I mean, Sarah Lash is super fair and a redhead, and she knows to get in the sun and she knows how much she can get in the sun, but she's in the sun, dang it, like every day. So that's the key to optimizing your hormones is getting that vitamin D level up. Were you going to say something, Sarah?
I was going to say, and I don't burn nearly like I used to since I've changed my diet.
Yay! And why is that?
Huge difference. That's because I eat a lot of meat. I've eliminated lots of PUFAs.
Yep.
And I'm minimal on my vegetables.
Yay! I love it.
Yeah.
And
Chris,
Sarah, tell people how much weight you've lost.
Over 40 pounds in the last year and a half. Yeah.
She looks great. She's always been like super fit, and we've worked out together every day of our lives for the last 12, 13 years. But she was one of my people that like, I can't give up my vegetables, Chris. I love my vegetables.
Oh my gosh. Yes. And yeah, I was a stickler. You're correct. And I ate a lot of vegetables.
Right.
Yeah.
And now look at your skin. I mean, that's the biggest thing that people don't understand is what you put in your mouth is going to affect the availability of the vitamin D that your body is creating. And it's also going to affect whether or not you get brown spots, like lipofuscin is directly related to polyunsaturated fats. So you see the old ladies, liver spots, people will call them. Those will not happen because you don't have the polyunsaturated fats in your body to create them. And so, Sarah, have you noticed that your skin is different too?
It's doing weird things right now because of the oxalates. So, I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. I consumed a lot of oxalates.
Yes.
For a long, long time. So I believe every word you say. I just have a lot to get through first, I think.
Yeah. And again, we didn't even cover oxalates this time around, and oxalates are a whole other story.
Yeah.
But in the notes for this webinar, there'll be books and doctors that you can read about oxalates and how they can affect your skin. But
I had
again,
even read those things and still didn't believe you. So
I love it that you read it and didn't believe me. Great, I love it.
Yeah. But I did it. I eventually came around.
Good, good. And again, light is going to be just as important as the nutrition, because you're going to do the nutrition and you're going to sit in a cave and you're not going to be able to optimize that vitamin D. So light's going to be just as important as nutrition. And then you can get into movement and, those kinds of things. So natural light, whether you will get it from a happy light you can purchase or you go outside, even on a cloudy day, those kinds of things are going to help keep that circadian rhythm in balance. And then again, like I said, that pyramid of hormones, we want to keep them optimized. So down below that cholesterol is going to be that vitamin D. So however you get that vitamin D, whether it's natural or taking it, that's going to make a big difference when it comes to balancing. I think that is all I have. Those are my 4 topics.
I have a question.
Have any question? Yeah.
Where can I get some testosterone?
Okay, I can send you a link for sure. Do you want, are you taking some now, Jen?
I have a T-Boost cream.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's doing anything.
Okay. Have you
I don't
checked your
think it
levels?
is. It was like 17 the last time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Sorry.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
No, I'm just glad you're asking for some.
No, yeah. I need some.
Yeah, and in fact, Jen, you may even want to do like the injectable, because if you're doing the cream and you're only at 17, I don't think that cream's working. You may
Well,
want to just go with an
I
injectable.
don't know where I can do that because
Okay, I can send you a link.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Yeah, that's a good point. If you already know your levels, and 17 for anybody that's on this call is low. Mine runs about 350, and that's where I feel the best. Normal range is 40 to 75. So even 40 to 75, I don't believe is a good range for us ladies. And we're all active. I know all of you, we're all very active people. So again, knowing your level and then knowing how you feel is a really good place to start. So Jen knows she's not feeling great and it's at 17. That would be a lever that I would think you should pull for sure.
Yeah, I have no libido at all, and I have to sleep at least 30 minutes between the hours of 2 and 4. Like I'm not a napper, and I'm snoring on the couch. Like I have to have my 3 o'clock after to pick the kids up or before. I have to pass out, or I can't. I have a hard time getting through the day.
Yeah.
And I just cannot, by nature, cannot nap. So the fact that I'm napping, I have to have a nap around 2 to 4 is just crazy to me. And I will be snoring. Like it's that hard of a nap.
Are you still optimizing your thyroid?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so your thyroid levels are good.
They're okay. I mean, they're I don't know. They were normal. There was one that was a little bit low, so they changed my T3 with a compound. So she compounded it with something else.
Okay.
To see if that made a difference.
Okay. So you're not running cold or anything like that. Your hair's not falling out. You don't have scaly skin. None of that.
My hair,
okay, good.
Actually, my skin has been a little weird lately.
Scaly?
Yeah.
Again, those are thyroid issues. So maybe the adjustment is why your skin's scaly, or it could be that you're still not optimized in your thyroid. But those would be the levers I would pull. Definitely is the thyroid and the testosterone.
I have blood work I have to go in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. If you want to send those to me, I'd be more than happy to take a look at them.
Okay.
Just give you my thoughts. But yeah, I mean, the fact low libido, not able to focus, tired all the time, That's thyroid and that's testosterone for sure. And at 17, that's a real low number.
Mm-hmm.
And that cream is not, how long have you been on the cream?
I mean, I'm not going to say I'm, can't even think of the word I'm looking for. I'm probably not the best at using it every day.
Okay.
So maybe if I did use it every day, but I think I was using it every day and just wasn't noticing much. So I probably got a little lackadaisical on it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, again, a lot of ladies start with the cream and then end up using the cream and maybe an injectable, depending on, what your levels are. An injectable, then you could do it once a week, right? And so you
I
wouldn't
don't
have to
think
like remember to do it.
my doctor won't do any of that because of my IUD. She says there's risks because I won't take it out.
Again, that's going to be a estrogen issue, not a testosterone issue, in my opinion. Not a doctor. So if she's willing to give you the testosterone cream, I find it odd that she's not willing to give you a
She
higher.
didn't give me the testosterone cream. I got the testosterone cream through where I got the progesterone cream from where you had me. get the
Oh,
progesterone
you're
cream.
using that testosterone cream. Okay,
Yes.
okay. Yeah, that's probably not going to be high enough. I'm
I'm assuming that's not.
Okay. Again, you can go to another functional doctor that will give you probably a different skew on the IUD issue. But I can also give you a website that you can order some if you want.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the end of my webinar. Does anybody else have other questions of any kind?
I have a question about the sun. So
Yes.
here in Indy, like today, it was a beautiful sunny day, and I've been telling myself, okay, while it's still sunny here, I'm gonna go out after lunch and just take like a 20 to 30-minute walk and get sun. Just pull up my sleeves and get sun here, as much sun as I can while I can. So even on days like today, I still should be maxing out. Is it because the sun's not as strong in the winter here?
Yes.
Okay.
You cannot, Natasha, you cannot convert the sun at that angle up north into vitamin D. It doesn't create it. I'm not saying it's not good for you though, right? I'm saying circadian rhythm, all the things you're doing outside is great, but don't think that you're creating vitamin D because you are not.
Okay.
So 10,000 IUs up to 50,000 IUs every day could be beneficial.
Okay.
I mean, I just got off a call with Dr. Geyer and he's like, my vitamin D is at 138, which is the normal range is 30 to 80. And I'm at 138. And I'm like, I still don't feel good. He's like, well, inject some vitamin D because it doesn't matter what level I'm at if I don't feel good. So when you start taking vitamin D at a level that's high enough, 10,000 is when you'll start to feel a difference. All the way up to 50,000, you may feel amazing. You're like, oh my gosh, Chris, I'm going to take it every day, right? Because it's how you feel. It's not the level that's in your blood.
So as I increase my dose of vitamin D, my vitamin D has K2 in it as well. Is it okay to be increasing that K2 with it?
Yes and no. K2 is going to be in red meat anyway, so you're probably already getting enough K2. I don't know if there's an upper limit for K2. I don't know that. I'll have to investigate. But I would suggest getting a vitamin D without the K2 in it. You can take the vitamin D with K2.
Okay.
And then if you want to add extra vitamin D, just grab another vitamin D.
Okay.
And put it in. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a good question. But yeah, being outside, super important, but you're not making any vitamin D.
That sucks.
Sorry.
I have a question regarding that. I'm so glad you asked about the K2. So if we're eating plenty of red meat, Rob and I both would not need the K2, even if because we're both taking D3 now in higher doses. So we wouldn't need that K2?
In my opinion, you wouldn't. I don't take K2. I just
started taking it
take
because
vitamin
I
D.
thought you needed it if you're taking D3. So that's, yeah, because I never did before. And then all of a sudden I'm like, you see all this stuff. And I thought, well, okay, maybe you guys should be taking it.
I mean, Sarah, Dr. Geyer could check your K2 to find out. And the only reason your K2 would be low is if you're eating a bunch of vegetables and you're not.
I'm not eating vegetables, but I'm eating a heck of a lot of meat.
Okay, that's
Lot of red
great.
meat.
That's where
Okay.
K2 comes from. And vegetables can chelate K2. So if you're a vegetarian, you're probably going to have to take K2 as a supplement.
Okay. So
Yeah, I think you're fine. But test
Okay.
it. You know, I don't know.
right.
Yeah.
Right. That was a good question. I kind of questioned K2 and D3. So thanks for that question.
Sure. Harvey,
Yeah, Chris, can
you have
you,
you go
what
ahead.
would be your recommendation for the for two things? One is for the 9 essential amino acids, how many milligrams a day?
We're going to talk grams, not milligrams.
Oh,
And
grams. Okay.
yeah. So you have to think of essential amino acids as a protein source, but it's double what a protein source is. Does that make sense? So if you're eating 40 grams of a steak, you're getting 20 grams of essential amino acids in that steak. But if you take 20 grams of essential amino acids, you're using 100% of those. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like double. So if you're eating 10 grams of essential amino acids, it's like eating 20 grams of eggs.
Got it.
Does that make sense or no?
Oh, yeah, it does. And then in addition, if I'm doing the supplement that you had recommended, the powder, because I still wasn't building enough muscle or feeling that change in like the meat hasn't been sufficient enough. So additionally taking the protein, how many grams, like how do I measure that?
Okay, so like if your goal is 50 grams of protein and you want to use essential amino acids, is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Okay, then I would
what
take.
should the goal be? What should the goal be, actually?
For you, I mean, you're a little woman, but I would still hit 50 grams at every meal. So if you're not hungry, right, which I know you don't eat a lot, if you're not hungry, you need to supplement with some essential amino acids. And that could be 25 grams of essential amino acids is equal to 50 grams of protein. And the studies that just came out,
Wait, say that again?
25 grams of essential amino acids is equal to eating 50 grams of animal protein.
Got it. Yes,
Yeah.
you established that. Okay, got it.
And the studies that came out in 2025 for people that were on bed rest, they were feeding the people on bed rest 45 grams of essential amino acids at every meal. That's a lot. That is a big consumption. But it also staved off any kind of muscle loss, and it actually increased their muscle mass while they were laying in bed. So that's pretty amazing.
Wow. Okay, got it. And about the vitamin D, Chris, and I know you've told me this before, but I want to hear it from you again. Because I'm so super low on it, I mean, you know, like you said, that there's no sun exposure is not going to convert that into vitamin D. I mean, there's not enough sun in order to do that. So to take 50,000 a day, how long is it safe to sustain that amount?
I don't know that there's an upper limit. I haven't seen any studies on vitamin D toxicity. I haven't. And having this conversation for the last 20 plus years with my functional doctor, he has not given me any reason why there is an upper limit either. So again, I'm not saying there is or isn't. I'm saying I have not read any studies where there is a vitamin D toxicity level.
Wow. And you yourself, in your experience, how long have you taken it consistently? And then do you just settle back down into 10,000 a day? Is that your protocol?
I have not, Harvey, I have not had to take vitamin D except for the last 30 days in years, because my vitamin D level has always been in the 130s to 150s. So I physically can get outside for 2 hours a day with no sunscreen, and that is enough vitamin D conversion for my body. However, when I went from Indiana to Florida, within 2 days of not getting sun, my vitamin D plummeted from 136 to 70, 75 or something like that. It was that
Oh,
fast.
wow.
And so knowing that, I got my blood tested. So knowing that it plummeted, I then put 20,000 IUs in my daily until I was able to get out in the sun again.
Got it. Okay, thank you so much for these detailed explanations. Thank
Sure,
you,
no problem.
Chris.
Check chats here. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Matt had a good question for Natasha about getting out in the sun. It's super important for your circadian rhythm. It's important for your eyes to be in the light. So that, again, it's about the light, not necessarily the vitamin D in the fall and winter for us. So going outside is still really important. Going outside, getting the negative ions from the earth. I know that sounds super woo woo, but touching grass, touching trees, being barefoot in either concrete or grass or dirt or whatever is great. All those things also help with lowering your cortisol. So if you feel like you're stressed out, go walk around outside in your grass for 20 minutes. It takes 21 minutes for your entire blood to circulate through your body, which then it should calm you down. If you don't have 20 minutes, who cares? Do it for 5 minutes, do it for 3 minutes. Being outside anytime during the day is going to benefit that cortisol level for sure. And then EAAs, Matt put in the chat. Oh, Sarah put in the chat EAAs that she takes. Again, there's all kinds of EAAs. I've found some, that are super cheap, super expensive. The key really is to look at the back of the EAAs and look at the leucine level. If the leucine level is 2 grams or more, that's a really good essential amino acid to take. If it's below that, you're just kind of wasting your time. Because again, you got to look at that leucine level. That's the key to those 9 essential amino acids working optimally. And so I use NutriCost. It's really cheap. I also use Kion. It's really expensive. One tastes better than the other. And so sometimes I mix them. I also do no flavored amino acids, and you can put that in your coffee in the morning if you want, however you want to get them in. But that's going to be the most efficient way to get that level of protein at every meal. And like I go back to Jen's problem, just eating 3 meals a day may be too hard. So just drink some amino acids and you will immediately feel better. You will immediately hopefully have that extra little energy that you won't be snoring at 2 o'clock on your couch, right? So get that middle meal that you don't have time for, Jen, is to get that, maybe just do essential amino acids and see if you get more energy. Any other questions?
Can you share in the notes or whatever? I know the Kion brand. What was the other one of amino acids?
NutriCost.
NutriCost?
Yeah,
How do you spell?
NutriCost. Yeah. They make, again, it all tastes like Kool-Aid to me. I can't stand it, but some people like the flavors. I buy all kinds of different flavors and just mix and match them because they just all taste terrible to me.
I've only used the Kion one with the fruit punch. That's what you turned me on to, and we've not strayed away from it. And it's pricey, but
it is pricey. And that's why I was to the point where I was drinking, a tub of that a week. And I was like, I've got to find something cheaper. And so I just started like buying a bunch of them, and some of them are just so terrible. I can't even take them down. But the NutriCross ones are half the price of Kion. Their leucine, their leucine content is, I think, 3 grams, where I think Kion's 2.5 grams. And it's like $20 for a container instead of 60 like Kion.
Okay, we're gonna check that out considering, I'm having it. It's crazy because 2 of us taking it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he takes it
again,
twice a
I had
day.
to, it doesn't taste, I mean, Keon is the best tasting one in my opinion. This one
Uh-huh.
literally tastes like, you know, you're back in second grade and you made your big thing of Kool-Aid and
Yeah.
it's not mixed up. You know, it just tastes like granny Kool-Aid.
Gross, but okay.
Not
It
great.
might be worth it.
Yeah. So again,
Thanks.
whatever you, yeah, however you need to get them in. I have 2 more slides. Okay. Oh, thank you. It's my thank you slide. I hope these 4 hacks, these 4 topics we talked about were informative. If you want me to look at any of you guys' blood work, I know all of you feel free to send the stuff to me. I can give you my thoughts. I love staying in touch with all of you. I've never even met Harvey in real life, and she's turned out to be a really fun person to know. But everybody else, I've known you, I've met you. You guys are great. And if you ever need me for any reason, you know how to get a hold of me. So, do you guys have anything else? Yeah.
Mindy had a comment to me in private.
Oh.
For Jen, who's been having.
Yeah.
She said she had the same problem until she started front loading her protein. Started doing 50 plus grams of protein.
Okay. So Mindy was one of the gals that was on the screen and she had to go. She said to Jen, her nap was really, she had to take naps too in the afternoon. And when I switched her to front loading her protein of 60 grams, which is a lot for breakfast, she noticed that her nap faded away. So again, Jen, it's just you eating more. And
I eat on all protein breakfast. I eat eggs and ground beef or eggs and
Okay.
a roast. I mean, I eat a pretty heavy duty protein breakfast every day.
Okay. So maybe it's the lunch.
That's probably the one thing I do that's spot on. I can't mess up.
And that's great. Maybe then it's your lunch. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Maybe it's that.
yeah. I feel like I probably, as the day goes on, is where I fail a little bit in that area. But I always start out, because I've always heard, especially with like glucose levels and insulin resistance, like start out breakfast always savory, always, no, nothing sweet and just heavy protein. I mean, I like eating a bunch of eggs, so it works out for me, and that's what I have done. I tell everybody to do that. Like that's probably, and I have a good afternoon, I think, until I hit that 2 o'clock.
Yeah. And then, like I said, maybe maybe you need that mid morning meal, right? So you're front loading that breakfast and you're doing fine. Maybe you need to preemptively strike and do some,
Right.
either a protein shake at like 10,
Right.
you know what I mean? And then,
Yeah.
okay. Because it's
I'm gonna
not
do
about
that.
the meals. It's about you having that consistency.
Right. I'm going to do that. That's what I'm going to do. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Oh, Sarah. Sarah, what?
I just wanted to chime in here because one of the things that I struggled with was I would get a day that I felt great, and then I would get a day that I didn't feel great. And I was trying to micromanage what I did on one day that I didn't do on another way to get that consistency. And I think one of the things that Chris taught me was it took me months of doing the right things to actually get the needle to move, whether it's energy or sleep, my blood values. So I just wanted to encourage all of you. Chris really has been a game changer for me. And just say that I probably would have quit along the way had I not had her saying, stay the course, keep doing everything that you're doing all the right things. Because it is for men, Matt may be able to speak to this a little bit more. Men can make one good decision at one point in their life and probably get all the amazing results forever and ever. Women make one bad choice, at any given point in their life, and they're forever damned. So I just really wanted, Matt didn't find that funny. Everybody else did. So I just wanted to remind all of the women all of the women out there that the consistency for me, I think I was probably 6 months in working with Chris before I ever really could say that the needle started to move. And I don't think it was really anything other than staying the course, slowing down a little bit, but had I not had Chris, I do this every day. I'm actually a chiropractor. I do this every day. I live and breathe this. And if I hadn't had Chris saying, stay the course, you're doing everything right, I probably, even as much fortitude as I have, probably would have said, forget it. So.
Well, I appreciate that, Sarah. And, you know, Sarah came to me for all different reasons, and it had nothing to do with what the typical reasons were. And I appreciate what she's saying, because, you know, we all look at our spouses and go, why is it so easy for you? God damn it. Right. But it just is easier for men. We just need more pampering. We're women. We're soft. We're not small men, and we can't push ourselves like a man can push themselves. And it's hard for women to just, you know, calm down and be soft sometimes. And I get that, but it does work. You just have to do it. So.
Well, thanks for saying do less a couple different times, because I made sure he heard
JD
it
heard
in the
that.
other room. So he came in and got my dinner bowl and he said, okay, this is you doing less. I was like, oh, thank you.
I love it. And you know, Jen, you're running and gunning. Like I know your schedule. I get tired just thinking about your schedule. So there are going to be hard times for you to like slow it down, but I know you can find those times. And then being consistent with your food.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just keep a shaker ball in the car. Like when I was practicing during the pandemic and didn't really have time, I would keep a shaker ball in the car and with water in it. Like if you can keep the essential amino acids with you, literally there's no excuse.
I agree with that.
That saved my life, literally, because when I was starving, you know, everything around me that I wasn't supposed to eat, I could, you know, lean into, and I didn't have to because I was already prepared.
Yeah.
Take it from the doctor. She knows all. I love it. I love it. Okay, lady. Oh, wait, I got a couple more in the chat. What's going on here? Oh, okay, great. Thanks, ladies, for coming. Like I said, if you need me, you guys know how to get a hold of me. And I really appreciate you doing this. And then I'm going to send this video to all of you with all the citations so you can nerd out.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. All right. Thanks, guys.
Chris,
Thank you.
thank you
Bye.
so much. Thank you, Chris. You are such a gift. I always tell you that. And you are the epitome of what a woman, the potential a woman has, and your demeanor and the way you carry yourself and just your attitude and your beauty and your appearance and your style and your the ultimate cheerleader. Like you just want everybody to win, and your enthusiasm is so infectious. It's just such a blessing to know you and to be with you. So whenever there's a webinar you're going to do to spend that hour with you, I want to be the first one on it.
I love it, Harvey. Thank you. You're my biggest cheerleader. I appreciate you.
Oh my God, you are the best. Are you kidding me? You are such a rock star. You are such a rock star. Both you and Matt. You are ultimate rock stars, and you run a phenomenal enterprise. So really, really, it's an honor and a blessing and a privilege to know you.
Thanks, Harvey. If you need me, you know where to get me.
I will, girl. You know
Okay.
it.
All right.
I swear you do not look like a grandma. No matter, every time I look at you, I'm like, she ain't looking like no grandma. It's like you've turned all the definitions upside down of what a woman could be, should be, can be, and the potential of a woman. Really, really awesome. And so inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you, Harvey. Okay.
Lots
Bye,
of love
guys.
to you. Bye.